Hello everyone, it's Thanksgiving Day 2018. I just got back from the turkey trot. I did the 5 mile run in Traverse City. Um, when I returned, I got a private message from someone, one of my Facebook friends, um, and bless her heart and bless all my friends who send me messages that have that are music related messages. Um, she was sending me a message, a music video about Taylor, and she goes, I know this isn't Taylor Swift, but this person is singing about Norway. Um, and it was a male singer singing about something, and then, excuse me, it was a male singer singing about something, but it had a Norwegian landscape in the music video, and that was nice. My immediate reaction, and all of a sudden I had this. I just remembered there was this song called "Natural Light" that was part of a music video that a group called My Trondheim released probably back in I think it was around 2010, maybe before that even, maybe 2008. But My Trondheim is like a tourist organization for Trondheim. And Trondheim is the city in Norway where my grandpa was born, Klaus Spork, Spurk, Klaus Spurk. He was born there. My great-grandfather, I'm named after him. He was born there. My great-great-grandfather, Ludwig Spork, he brought the first telephone to Trondheim and was in the museum in Trondheim for many years for his entrepreneurship and his connection to Norway, to the United States. The family we have a very beautiful family cemetery, a plot at the cemetery in Trondheim. I know where all the houses are that my grandpa grew up in, and where his dad grew up, and the story about the businesses in Trondheim are very near and dear to my heart. And in 2010, when I made my first trip to Norway, this was right around the social media was really kicking off, and my first time in my life I could really get close to Norway through all the organizations and the pictures. I could see daily pictures of Rurus, which is where my grandpa lived for 6 months of the year when I was alive, and he would come back every year, every spring, and I would write him letters while he was gone. The song by my Trondheim called "Natural Light." It's a song that romanticizes about a girl singing about having a relationship with this. Sounds like it's about a person, wishing that she could spend time with that person all the time, imagining what it'd be like to see them all the time. Walking around in the streets of Trondheim while this music video is playing. It's showing all that, Trondheim, all the parts of that are, really. It's really cool. I think it's an excellent one of the best music videos I've ever seen, to be honest with you. It's a very romanticized idea of Trondheim and in Norway in general, but for me, like I never really. Norway wasn't as much of a romanticized. Like if you watch the TV show Alt for Norway, it's a Norwegian TV show where all these people win a chance to go and meet their Norwegian family, and it's a reality TV show where this group has all these challenges throughout Norway, and they talk about their Norwegian heritage and they learn about Norwegian. It's a really cool show, but which I couldn't even be a part of because I already know who my family is in Norway. But they talk about this romanticized version of how they, feel about Norway. Well, for me, I have some of that, but I also had a real connection to Norway that made Norway really real for me. My grandpa would come back from Norway every year. He had a very heavy Norwegian accent. Talked about stories from Norway. So for me. There was a part of me that had a romanticized version of Norway, but a part of it wasn't. part of it was more real. So, but this song, it really, this music video really spoke to me, and I posted it on Facebook several times, years ago. So I just posted that. I posted it because this person sent me this other video of this man singing about something, and then it had a Norwegian landscape in the background. And that was, bless her heart, that she can share that with me. Nothing wrong with all those things. However, I personally don't. I don't have a. I'm not somebody that can. I don't want to like all of a sudden be pulled in all these directions, and like, I want to learn things. Don't get me wrong, but when it comes to music and stuff, it's like, at some point you have to have your own personal preference, and you have to know what that is. And I think a lot of people, and myself included, for a long time, I listened to all kinds of music. I listened to male singers. I listened to rap. I was on the jazz band, marching band. I'm well versed in movie soundtracks, classical music a little bit. I know several artists, and I have some favorites. I've listened to country, everything, really everything. Folk. I have tons of records from the 60s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. I never grew up with, I grew up with the radio. My mom had, we would listen to James Taylor on the way to Cincinnati and the cassette tapes. Remember that? She had Elvis records, but we never listened to Elvis very much. Carly Simon, maybe? No, I remember hearing, there was like very little musical kind of influences in my family, but I don't think really many people had that much in musical influences growing up. So through the years, working out here in my shop all by myself, I've gone from listening to the radio, getting absolutely just the radio driving me crazy with the same songs all the time, having to go up and change it all the time. Then I kind of switched to talk radio. I have a political science degree. I learned all kinds of political perspectives. I listened to Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, Mark Levin for a while. After a little while, it got old. People also would criticize me for listening to that. So, I feel like it's good to listen to someone who has possibly a different perspective than you. I'm not going to say that I disagree with everything that they say or agree with everything that they said, but as I'm telling you, I don't listen to them at all anymore. I don't enjoy it at all. So then we have our smartphones, and we're allowed to pick music whenever we want to all the time, which is a brand new concept. Before, we would have to buy a record, listen to the radio, go to a concert. So this whole for me, being an artist, maybe I'm not sure what it is, but within the last couple of years, I've kind of gravitated towards listening to. At this point in my life, I really have no desire to listen to a male singer. Now, if I'm with friends or something and we want to have a good time and go to a concert or something, be it techno or pop or country, that's cool. I like the excitement of going to a concert and hearing someone sing. But when I'm in this personal setting by myself listening to music, you can't help but to really have a more emotional kind of experience by yourself. And then, of course, I have YouTube, so I then can post about it on Facebook. So recently, I've kind of like gravitated towards Taylor Swift. We have, what's her name? I can't even remember their names right now. There's like two other artists that, Katy Perry and Avril Lavigne. those are other two women, female artists that I've liked a little bit. Um, but I found that I really Taylor Swift, her lyrics speak to me, and I relate to her much more. When I was a kid, and one of my first jobs was working at a farm in a farm market, and we listened to country music like, from 1993 until about when I went to college, maybe about 2000, a little bit into college. I'd listen to country music a little bit, and then it kind of tailed off. I tailed off listening to country music. I would listen to it a little bit, but Taylor Swift was coming on the scene right about then, so she was kind of on my radar, and and then she breached the whole country music gap into the pop world, and so I kind of she's always been there on my radar, and she's one that I can relate to. So now I'm on social media and I'm listening to YouTube. I get to pick my own music. I've just gotten to this point where it's more of a powerful experience to focus on one person, to really kind of listen to what they're singing about, analyzing everything about them, and it's more and more time I have on my hands by myself listening to it. The more I listen to it, and of course I have all kinds of interests. I post about Norway more than anything else. And the people that send me the messages about the music that I'm listening to and wondering, they're not mean. They're just it's almost like they're kind of trying to be helpful. Like I can't find anyone else I want to listen to, and that's not the case. It's more of like I really find that focusing on one person, it's like almost like learning a language. The more you kind of practice it, and the more you kind of analyze it, the more you learn from it. And that's kind of what's happening with me. And I made a tile of Taylor Swift, so I just wanted to kind of explain that, and then I posted that video, Natural Light, about Trondheim just now, because when someone sends me messages about music, my reaction to that is to find something that's going to be